All right. Now we get to observe Andy play the pocket rockets.
Yeah. Looking for some space exploration of his own. All done spectating for obvious reasons.
Oh.
Barbaro might find things costly yet again.
This is a dicey spot. This is very similar to the last time, but the positions are even earlier because this is an 8-handed table now, and there's more ICM pressure. He definitely might fold this. I think fold is pretty reasonable. He also might stick in 1.9 million and find out some bad news.
Well, remember, with the ace-queen, he chose to make it 700, allowing himself to get away from the 4-bet. But you wonder whether or not that would have maybe influenced this decision.
I like this fold.
I feel like I'm in favor of it as well.
Early.
Kulev's got himself some trouble, though, in the cutoff ace-queen suited.
One of the kind of big takeaways I feel like is modern poker here at Triton, watching the top players that I've personally taken away, that I think like 5-10 years ago was quite different, is kind of the value of these high ICM situations, 20 big blinds, some of these mid pairs where you used to just see people always pile them in.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see a lot of these top players really play them very carefully in a lot of these spots.
Well, can't blame
So
Kulev for
tight ranges, ICM pressure.
for not exercising similar caution with this kit as a very committing 1.15 has been deployed. Andy jams over the top. Kulev always knew what would be required in the event that this took place, and suddenly 4.2 million works its way into the middle, and Kulev has got real issues.
By the way, I feel it. I had a really good feeling.
Nacho the humble.
I know it's a fold, bro. I mean, he's so... It's a standard fold, actually. I'm not a genius.
So see, they're saying, Nacho's saying it.
He's saying
They're
I'm a
actually all
genius.
joking that it's a standard fold. But
10-6-5. Kulev's problems are evident.
I knew it was coming. I fucking
And now
knew it
it's
was coming.
official.
I knew it was fucking coming.
Alex.
Oh my god, why I don't trust my fucking feelings?
Showered.
You have to try to play good. Just play your fucking game.
Bad? This is the fun game?
Okay?
Some more focus in terms of their plight. Touched on already the ladders available. They're not insignificant. Now Andy, pocket fours. He's got Barbaro destroyed.
Andy also has 9 million in chips. Nobody behind him. Yeah.
Is this a call, he said?
I think it's a race. He put 1 million already. Okay.
Okay, yeah, he said call after having already plopped in a covering amount, it looked like. Nacho actually was lobbying for the rest to be put in, and now lamenting perhaps that choice. Has he shown a hard 8?
No. Your aura is like so different, Nacho. I'm not trying to put you down, but...
Huh? Yeah. I don't know.
Threes have been a pretty lucky hand.
My goodness.
Three's coming.
No, Jack.
Andy Nee, not amused whatsoever by that.
Jack.
No, Jack.
Jack. Jack.
Yes. No, Jack.
Jack Lafitte.
No, Jack.
Jack.
Turn is
Put a
clean,
jack for
so
him.
improbable.
I want to see
Is
pain.
that
No, Jack.
set up there for
Jack.
Four is the pain.
Jack. Nah, you
Nacho
deserve
Barbaro?
Yeah.
Clean run out.
to- Why don't you put the jack there?
That's big fold. Everybody fold? Yeah. All in.
They get direct odds, though. Not a limit holder player.
Oh, it
I
might be a dwarf planet now. I don't know if that counts
hang
as a
on.
planet.
Oh, are you suggesting that dwarves aren't planets?
Yes.
Rast?
Yes.
但是你不需要 ace 放心啊。
Boldigan,
Says it's now classified as a dwarf planet
the
because
dwarfy
while it
stack.
is large enough to have become spherical, it is not big enough to exert its orbital dominance and clear the neighborhood surrounding its orbit.
I got your orbital dominance right here, says Andy Nee. Ace Queen against Queen 9. And look at Boldigan hop right down into his seat as he hits the side card on the 9-3-3 board. Can he hold?
Ooh.
Things are looking good for him.
It's a great card. It takes away a third of his opponent's outs.
Red Aces, that which he needs to avoid, and does so successfully. King 3 off for Schwede. Can well afford to defend. I don't know that Andy's stack is the one that he's wanting to dance with, but one upon which he can be placing a considerable amount of ICM pressure given the presence of 3, 10 or fewer big blind stacks that still remain out of our 6 players.
Schwede's just going to defend his big blind a lot. That's what it boils down to. When you have the chip lead, you're going to defend your blind a lot. Because not only do you get to, like realize your equity, play chip EV, you actually probably over-realize because other stacks, feel the pressure, especially playing you can bust them anyways.
Open-ender just speaks right on up with a lead of 450,000. Note the double gutter for Andy, by the way, plus backdoor diamonds. This is getting a little interesting.
Yeah, definitely a board deuce 5-4 rainbow, which favors the big blind. He's going to have 3-6. He's going to have some 2 pairs that Andy won't. So finds a lead and
finds that card that isn't really the one he had in mind. I'm talking about Andy pairing the 6. Of course, Schwede right away hitting the straight.
Andy is not going to mind this card. Like, obviously, we can see it was a really bad card for him, but like he's now beating any of the flopped pairs. And so far, Schwede has played his hand in a way in which his range should be rich of one pair of those flopped 1-pair hands. Doesn't mean Andy needs to bet here, but Andy's got to feel pretty good. I mean, Schwede led flop and then checked turn, so he could easily have a 5-4 or deuce. So now let's see how Schwede decides to play.
Yeah, given that the 4 does pair on this river after 2 checks on the turn, 2 million out there, how much value does Nicholas have on his mind?
I don't think he probably isn't going to check raise if he checks. Not unreasonable, but it is ambitious. So yeah, I like just betting. Kind of tough spot for Andy. I mean, he has a pretty good hand, but at this point you were pretty much just bluff catching. It's hard to think of maybe Schwede has a hand like ace-5, like 6-7. Possible you're beating a small amount of value. What are the bluffs he has, though? I mean, if you're trying to come out with bluffs, it'd be just 2 overcards. So, like, a hand like 9-10 of diamonds.
900,000, just shy of half pot. That's the demand. Presented to Andy. And he does make the call.
Yeah.
Now the chip leader. Laying it down to Andy. Small blind. Limp with 7-8. Baby suited 1-gapper for Nicholas.
Strikes me as a hand that's always getting checked here, at least theoretically.
Indeed, the check does come in. And the flop is 5, 6, 7. Top pair and an open ender against bottom pair on the bad end of a gut shot. No spade on board, 900 in the middle.
A little something for everyone, but a lot more something for Andy. He's going to be happy to bet for value. Put money in the pot. Top pair, the good side of the open ender.
450, the number.
And I think here with bottom pair and a bad gutter, we probably have enough. Unfortunately, no backdoor flush draw. Probably enough to peel once. But it's already kind of not a great situation. But it's, I think you're just folding too much if you don't defend this on the flop. And that's not a good card for Schwede.
Obvious reasons here. Somehow a 4 finds this board, giving Andy the 8 high straight and Schwede the 7 high. And look at Andy playing it as a check, Rast.
Yeah, they have like just under 2x pot, like probably something like 1.7 or whatever.
Check back, by the way, from Schwede. Backdoor diamonds arriving. Unclear whether or not that's of any concern to either party.
You know, most of the flushes that Schwede calls flop with and checks back on the turn have a pair, like a 5 or a 7. And Andy having the 7 of diamonds should make him feel a lot more comfy that Schwede doesn't have a flush. So I like making a healthy value bet here because, I mean, not only is our hand probably good because we have an 8 high straight, it's also just extra unlikely that our opponent has a flush. So good bet by Andy, and I like that he went bigger. And this is going to be a tough fold for Schwede as played. I think he probably ends up calling. I mean, bet, check, bet in this spot. Definitely our opponent can have some bluffs. Doesn't mean you need to call. I mean, sometimes you just dig deep and find like the sick monster fold. But yeah, I don't blame him for calling. It seems very reasonable and somewhat standard, all things considered.
So back on top of the mountain is Schwede, and ace-jack will activate.
Oh, should see a collision here in a little weighted race.
Hard 14 for Andy. Don't ever bet that on a craps table, by the way. That's no matter what the odds they give you.
It's tough combo to roll on the dice. Andy's going to roll all in whenever he gets around to it. And Schwede's gonna call it. I'm not sure what Andy's doing, because this seems like a very easy decision. There's not even, I mean, he has the shortest stack by a lot, too.
I don't think he was really deliberating about what to do, rather just going through some motions here in the hopes that maybe something on the cusp would make a meal of that and get itself involved here. 2 overs against the pair as the gentlemen start their engines here in an 8-figure pot, which needs to go Andy's way if we're to avoid getting down to heads up.
What?
You have a jack?
No, I had king 2 suited.
Ace 10-9, a disastrous development.
8, I don't like an 8. No jack.
If you're Andy Nee.
It is bad.
Oh my goodness, finds the 2 outer on the turn. I don't even bother building drama in spots like this. Note, however, that Schwede still draws live to an 8 with the gut shot.
How much?
A little close for comfort. Board pair, 7's full. Will take it down as Schwede asks for a count. And a rather manic depressive experience, 3-handed for his stack. Keep those double doubles close by.
Yeah,
You know,
double.
it's the key to happiness. And, you know, arterial obstruction, but whatever.
I mean, yeah, burgers aren't great, but they're not like the worst thing in the world.
I'll tell you what.
It's when you add like the French fries and the soda and whatever. But if you went and just got a burger, 700 calories, decent protein content, We got a few veggies on there as well. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
Also not great. Holding King 10 against King Jack on this Ace 7-4 board. Now, Andy does connect with the 10, but note, Brewer has picked up the spade draw and the gutter. Jack for a winner as well. Instead, it's an 8, and Andy will double through Chris. Over under 6.5 hours before we find a winner.
Well,
It's a liberal book.
that's a gambling, man. I think I have a side on that one.
You're with the over as well?
Willing to bet. We just need to submit it secretly, and along with the amount we're willing to bet.
Well, Brewer's got some issues on his hands here. He's made it $5 million to go. Andy Nee is going to ask for the extra $500 that he had back. And look at this, a third ace for Schwede, shriveling, of course, in the face of effective jam and rejam.
I don't know, though. I mean, like, don't you just want to fold here and let Brewer
How much you have?
maybe bust to Andy?
Okay. 14 million.
I mean, it could be very profitable to simply spectate. Haven't touched on it in some time, but we're talking about 180K ladder between third and second.
Question is, if Andy wins the pot, do they chop third and second because they both went out, or do you get second because you had more chips?
The ladder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that changes things a bit.
I can be ahead.
Yeah, if he basically, so if he calls here, if Andy wins, he still comes in second. If Brewer wins, that's
Oh my gosh, he's going to make the call. Rast.
Kind of makes sense with that rule, though.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
Okay, now look at this.
Oh, shit.
Brewer has asked for everybody to relax.
Oh, wow. 6 spot for me now. Thank you so much.
He is going to fold.
Maybe I have the best hand. It's fine.
Hey.
If you fold, then the winner will win the tournament. If he wins, for sure.
I'm not sure Schwede's supposed to be getting in Chris's ear like this.
Don't think he's supposed to give Chris advice. It's probably not unbiased.
I mean, walk me through this.
You know what I think happened is
What's
I don't
the
think
argument?
Schwede realized that Brewer could still fold.
Okay, but
really.
what's the argument, real quick? Brewer does end up. Well, hang on. No, this is
it's a
time
time
bank
flip.
usage. What is the argument in favor of Chris Brewer finding a fold right now?
Spot ever.
If Andy,
See, I don't mind you folding.
his hand is not good, call over call. He probably has very little equity, and he can lock up a pay jump by folding here if Andy wins. Of course, if Schwede wins, then he's always in third. So, but
So basically,
yeah,
I have him beat.
he would have been rooting had he folded for the covering stack of
Andy
Andy
to win.
to shower Schwede, so he gets the 180K pay ladder, and obviously a very uphill climb in terms of trying to get first. But instead he calls,
Put an 8, don't
and
put
this
a
is
10. It's fine.
basically
I'm happy second after what happened. Maybe a 10 and I win it all.
for the tournament in some ways here, considering that Andy has over 50% of the equity and a dominant ace against both of his opponents.
can chop all of us.
Queen 7. Imagine if the 7 rolls off. What a relief that would be to
And then,
Schwede and Brewer, both of whom are covered here.
Okay, king. King is better. No. What I'm saying. 7.
8 seems great.
Why not a 10?
oh, look at this card.
6.
Well, now the ace and jack
6, 7.
play unless the board
7, 10.
pairs.
Clean winners are 10s and 8s for Schwede and Brewer respectively. 6s and 7s for a chop. Andy in the lead, 71% equity. Can he end it here? Yes!
That's
A
it.
double knockout as three-handed suddenly gives abrupt way to a victor. Unprecedented, Rast.
Yeah, this is a bizarre way to end the tournament here. no heads-up play.
So Andy Nee picks up the title and the $785,000. As Schweedy will be left to collect second place as the covering stack ahead of Brewer. Brewer will collect third, $354 for that third place effort, $531 for second. But that is the man of the moment, $785,000 richer. His first ever title.